Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very different video from our usual ones. We're actually going to be doing a top 10 most expensive waifu cards. We're not just going to be looking at Eddie cards. These are some of the rarest, most sought after cards in the One Piece game. For various reasons, of course. You have the ones that are usable, the ones that are leaders, the ones that just look good, and obviously those prize cards, fellas. Can't forget about those. From some of the most iconic characters to some of the nicest art that we've seen on some of these cards. And trust me, with some of these price tags, you will not believe how high some of these go. Some of these cards really require that back though. But anyways, let's just get started. In the top 10, we have Rebecca. This is the Rebecca from OP05, the special rare, a blocker and an on-play ability to add one black character with a cost of 3 to 7 other than Rebecca from the trash to your hand, and then play up to one black character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested. Crazy plays, and honestly, the artwork is just something else. When they decided to do the special cards in this sort of like in their environment kind of feel, just gave them another level of credibility. Just such a good card. And as of early August, with some of the sales have been kind of dropping down, so it used to be a much more expensive waifu, but now you can get it for about 105, shipping included. All these prices are from like TCG Player. For some of them, we're actually gonna head over into eBay, but not a bad card to have a top 10. Fellas, 9th place goes to the one and only Boa. It would not take long for her to show up. Another special card. This one actually came out in, what set was this? OP04, I think? OP05. But one of these special ones, they would really throw it back. It's the OP01 Boa. A blue 4-cost, 5,000 power character. Another blocker, so clearly that's the usability aspect of it. Don 1 when attacking and on block. Draw 1 card if you have 5 or less cards in your hands. Great card. Amazing blocker for those blue decks. It's definitely an art that we had not seen before. It gives Boa, but there's something about it that's missing, you know? Anyways, definitely deserving of the top 9 spot. You're already looking at prices of about 131. The latest sold about 136. It's actually going up in price quite a lot. Like 20 bucks or so, maybe, in a couple of days from early July. A card definitely for the collection. A card for all of you big whales out there who would like to have special rares in your decks. And at $131, we're getting up there, fellas. Number 8, we have Nami. Does not take long for Nami to show up, or should we be saying O-Nami? Yet another special rare. Clearly the special rare waifu cards are just something that you need to have on your collection. The O-Nami card is actually not a blocker, first non-blocker that we have here. It's an on-play effect that gives banish to one of your characters or leaders. Definitely a card that became super useful with some of the Yamato decks, but I believe even Eno runs some of these, even now in OP07. Not much to say, definitely one of those very wholesome cards. Not all the waifu cards have to be big titty cards. Some of them can be wholesome cards. This one specifically with Nami and Otama in the festival that's supposed to happen, right? Beautiful card. Prices have actually gone down. It used to be something worth about 171 when it came out to nowadays selling for about 134. So the difference between top 8 and top 9 is just that little bit. Even if you consider the current bid that they provide over for you, what is that, like $132 compared to the 131 of the Boa? Still within the same range, but taking the top 8 spot. In the top 7, fellas, not O-Nami, but just Nami. You know everything I said about the O-Nami card? Top 8, great, wholesome, beautiful. Top 7 took it the completely different other way. We have the 1-cost, 1,000 power structure deck 1 Nami. This is from one of the championship cards from 2023. I think it might have been a participation card. One of the ones that you get from those special packs, not necessarily for winning. And what can I say? Fellas, let me give you a better view of that. Anyways, a little bit of editing magic. There you go. Took the sample out of the way. You can see definitely why this card is still up here in the top 7 spot. What can I say? It's just a great card. I think you could also get the same art, not with the background of all the money and cash looking like a Pirates of the Caribbean set, but a winner card came out, and I think there was a couple of others that had the same style, coming in at about $185. It seems that that price is not necessarily steady. It's been jumping up and down quite a bit, but it's around where it is as of today. Late July, there was actually a sale for about 135, 150. Still placing it within that top 7, but climbing up there. We're almost at the 200, fellas, and only in the 7th best. Okay, top 6, and we have Nami yet again. It's unavoidable, fellas. There's so many good Nami cards, so many good looking Nami cards that it just has to be. Here in top 6, we do have the blue leader Nami from OP03. Amazing art. Definitely the alternate rares for these are very unique. They haven't done them again since. One of the most interesting leaders, actually. And I think here the value comes a lot more, not only from the art, the fact that it's Nami, but the fact that the way the card plays is so different to any other. Pretty much, for you to win, make your deck go to 0. That's it. Dry yourself out, fellas. The price definitely looks lower than what it is currently versus the top 7 spot, which I said was Nami from Structure Deck 1, about 182. The reason primarily is that on average, it's trending more on the 180. Definitely the amount of supply of these cards that there is raising the price. So if we were to look at some of the ones that are right below it, you're looking after the first 4 or 5, you're getting into those 187, 188, some even in the 190. But overall, great card. Can't get enough Namis. So let's move on to the top 5. Now hear me out, fellas. Yes, 4th Nami technically, but can we truly forget about the first alternate art Nami that came out for the sets, fellas? OP01 one cost 2000 Searcher Nami. Definitely one of the other waifu cards which does not hold back. She's got that snatched waist, that bikini top. One of the best waifu cards out there, honestly. OP01, and it's held its value so well. I think looking at $200 at the very least, fellas, I don't think you could go beyond that currently. Some have maybe sold for $220 actually, very recently. Still super usable. It lets you search any red Straw Hat crew other than herself, I believe. This is one of those cards that has an errata. So maybe those errata cards might be going for higher. But as far as waifu value goes, usability and amazing art, definitely worthy of that top 5. All right, moving into the top 4, you wouldn't believe it, but the price just doubled, fellas. If you want to be in the top 4 range, you need to drop the bag. We have Charlotte Pudding coming in with one of those classy waifu cards. It's one of the Championship 2024. Beautiful card. Not much to say. It's very similar actually to the OP1 Nami. It's a searcher, but in this case, a searcher for the Big Mom Pirates cards. One cost 2000. Just such a classy card. If you look at it, the gold bordering, the wedding dress, the way the light is hitting, Championship 2024, definitely a card putting in your collection, fellas. If waifu is your choice of collection, this one has to go in there. As of today, you won't be able to get it for anything lower than 416 bucks. I think it's one of the cards that's still being given out for some of the current tournaments as of August. It's a top 64 card, I believe. So the price maybe might come down a little bit as some of the other cards get put up for sale. At least on the TCG Player, you're looking at 416 at the very least. There was one yesterday that sold for like 400. Lucky bastard. But now that we know our top 4, let's look at the top 3 most expensive waifu cards as of today. Taking the top 3 spot, fellas, none other than Yamato. Finally make it onto the list. We're also looking once again at some of these Treasure Cup cards, championship cards, kind of collection, right? Those that have that specialized border. I've always been crazy for some of these. Unfortunately, never been able to place high enough in the tournaments to be able to call any of these my own. But hey, here we go. Yamato, this is OP01 Secret Rare Yamato. So bringing in a little bit of that rarity to it. Green card, you can't tell other than maybe by here and obviously the color wheel. A double attack banish character. Insane movement for 5 cost. If you could somehow get it on the board a little bit sooner, amazing card to have. The art just goes too hard. They didn't change anything at all about the art from the OP01 alternate art. It just kind of extends a little bit past it, but pretty much the same. This Yamato card is looking at 550 at the very least, fellas. Market price overall had been about 728. It was definitely a lot more expensive back in late May, but now it's dropped significantly. If you consider about $100 significant, you're looking to drop at least 550 on this card. So not necessarily a cheap one, but if you're a Yamato collector, this is one of the best. Some of the later tournaments in the year, we already know that some of the price cards are actually going to be some of these Yamato ones. So for the championship finals, we actually do have already what the prices are going to be. And for the top 3 spots, it's going to be Yamato, fellas. You have the bronze Yamato. This is the OP04. This is not the same one as the other one that we just saw. You have the 3rd place clearly marked with that bronze border. 2nd place also marked with the silver border, of course, and then 1st place with the gold border. I would love to tell you, fellas, that this would be something that you could get for yourself. Don't even think about it. You're looking at only one of these coming out for the championship finals for each. I know that last year it was the Kaido, and I know that one of them actually sold. I think maybe the 3rd place this for somewhere like in the $115,000. So while she doesn't make it into this list today, she's gonna be up there, fellas, believe me. Alright, top 2, it's Boa, fellas. She's back on the list. I think she was last 7th place with her special rare, but obviously we have the manga rare Boa. Her value has stayed somewhat consistent as of recently. You're looking to still drop about 650 if you want the manga rare. Here, it's all about how rare it is, right? It's all about getting that crazy pull, that chase everybody wants. The art is very true to the manga. Definitely something that is super appreciated. Could it have been a bit more waifu-like? I'll let you decide. A manga rare had to be somewhere in the top 3, and she just so happens to make it. I think she is actually, as of OP07, the only waifu manga rare that you can get. For those that were smart enough to wait until purchasing before the set had just come out, somewhere like $2,000, she's dropped about 70% in price. So that's $650. It's a bargain, fellas. Before we go into the top 3, make sure to subscribe. We're so close to getting the geartenth pirate crew up to 2,000, fellas. So make sure to hit that subscribe. It definitely helps a lot. If you want to see more top 10, maybe some gameplay, a lot of card opening, stay tuned on the channel. Okay, fellas, now top 1. To everyone's surprise, who's it gonna be? It's Charlotte Linlin, fellas! None other than Big Mom takes the stage and takes the whole cake. Definitely something I'm sure not many of you expected, and a good point for disagreement. Big Mom, hottie or a naughty? Let me know. But top 1, definitely one of the most expensive cards you can currently get in the One Piece. We have 2 types of Charlotte Linlin. I actually decided to pair them together within the same top 1 spot just because they're gonna be distributed at different events. The one on screen is the Treasure Cup one that you can get. I think for this one you need to get like top 16 maybe. And then you do also have the Charlotte Linlin from the Championship 2024. I believe this would be from regionals. Both insane arts. Cool part is that they're completely different Charlotte Linlins too. This is from STO7 Charlotte Linlin, but the other one is OP03. Crazy arts. I think definitely the Championship one just goes way too hard. And I mean, let's talk pricing. It's kind of hard to tell. Obviously in TCG Player there's none that have been listed or sold for the Treasure Cup one. This, I believe people have it. People have gotten this card already. And the Championship one card, I think there were listings. Yeah, there's actually one listing for $3,500. I mean, the top 10 list, fellas, was about the most expensive, $3,500. You're getting into territory of like release day manga rares. I did head over into eBay to see if we could find any of the sold, and 3,500 is definitely an exaggeration, it seems. And so the latest sold was actually yesterday for about $1,800 for the Championship Big Mom, and there is also one for the Treasure Cup which has sold at 1,300. So if you wanted to average it out, you're looking at a 1,500 range. If you've got that kind of cash, fellas, drop it now. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, why not click on the next one? If you want to see more top 10s, make sure to let me know down in the comments and we'll bring a lot more soon to you. But I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.